if I'm a veteran in that locker room, if I'm a member of, he said, the 15-member player council, leadership council that they have, if I'm a veteran on this team and I hear that Jimmy G is willing to stay to be the backup and he will be there if Trey gets hurt and the season will not be blown up. We're not handing it off to Nate Sudfeld or Brock Purdy.
Right.
That we're handing it off to Jimmy G and that Jimmy's willing to be around and be that guy for us. I am like all in. I'm like, do it. Will he do it? Really? Can I call Jimmy? Do you need me to call Jimmy to see if Jimmy will do it? Of course I'm doing it. You want me to sell that in the locker room? I'm in. Done. And that's not a slight to Trey. It's a knowing that one split second can happen. Remember Jimmy G didn't get out of bounds and his knee blew up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That can happen to Trey Lance. And then my season's over. My ability to win a Super Bowl this year is essentially over because I definitely have concerns about the other guys you're considering as backup. I'm in. As a matter of fact, do you want me to call Jimmy to help?
Right.
That would have been my response. It's just, again, managing the downs of the ups and downs that are inevitable when it comes to a guy as inexperienced at the position as Trey Lance is, that normally happens in the NFL for somebody like that with that experience level like that. Can he come in and play like Justin Herbert and make this all moot and Jimmy G is an earbud in all season long? You bet. Will he struggle to the point where the team is 500 and it's clearly his fault based on his play, based on the all 22s that are out there on Twitter, the all 22 Twitter showing there's where he should have gone, and you know Kyle knows that, and Kyle has got to be up his you know what about it. That is there a threshold? That's why I asked that question of Lynch, and it was funny his answer being, you know, my dad used to be in radio. I had season tickets to San Diego, and we heard people chanting the backup name for Dan Fouts. What he said, his grandmother was wanting Gary Kubiak to get in the game when Elway would struggle.
Like,
and I thought that was a nice way of saying that, you know, there's always going to be that drumbeat outside the building.
Right.
But we are going to, remember yesterday, Chris, you're like, of course I'd take Jimmy G, but this is not in a vacuum.
Yeah,
Jimmy G is going to be the presence that might throw Trey Lance off his game, having him look over his shoulder the whole time. And I'm like, well, the coach thinks he can create that vacuum, and you thought that that's not feasible, and you just heard John Lynch and the coach say that that's the feasibility that they're willing to endeavor because having Jimmy G in the building to back the guy up is worth it. That the in case of emergency, Garoppolo is there for to start the season is in case Lance gets hurt. We're all sitting there like, will you break the in case of emergency glass if Lance is inconsistent and not ready, not Super Bowl ready? And the inconsistency that you would have been willing to live with to get through this season ups and downs so he can be mature and your guy for a decade plus to follow, you're still not willing to go through those growing pains because you got Jimmy G there and we're going to break the in case of emergency glass because we think we can win the Super Bowl. And Trey Lance will, instead of the conversation being, hey, we're bringing Jimmy G in here, hope you're cool with that. Cool. It's like, hey, Jimmy's now the starter. Hope you're cool with that. We're going to try again next year with you. That's what's set up for this 49er season. And holy cow, is it pretty much unprecedented and fascinating. But I'm still betting on Lance. I have from the beginning, and I'll keep doing it.